The two previous calls, the 11 and the 1 o'clock one South African time, is posted on the YouTube channel. Please subscribe when you go watch the videos and like it. We can make a few dollars on YouTube eventually if there's enough viewing time and enough subscribers, and then I can sponsor more people in and work more on the old boards. Just a quick recap. We spoke on the earlier calls about people now working on their own boards. You want to work on your own board, you're free to do that. Send me a photo of the board and the Legends full username. I'll open the WhatsApp group, or the Telegram group, and then make you admin. I'll add a few other people in there, and then you add the rest of the board, and then you start working on the board. We just closed now the first one on the submarine after we opened it up for people to work on their own boards. Sorry, actually the second one. And it's going haywire. There's 6 more that we're going to close in the next 2 days. Now, there's 2 ways that we can work on those boards. If the board is like it's supposed to be, with nobody that removed themselves, or nobody that got deleted because they were too lazy to log in, then there's 7 people on the board, and we send out the links from the builder position. That is one way to do it. If it's a broken board where there's people short, maybe a builder, then we work so that we can get somebody into the builder position first, and then from there we send the rest of the links. One of the split boards may be haywire then, but it doesn't matter. We work per board, and I will guide each board as it is required. I can take you up to guide position on the first board without 2 invitees, and still manage to eventually pull the board straight. So that is if there's people short on a board, then we work according to that. So if the board was in the normal sequence for boarding calls, it would have had 3 or 4 boarding calls. But now, because we're working in a group, the links will go out in the group or to use yourself without a boarding call. There is still a boarding call number allocated to that board, and we update the file of the new gifters so that in future we can get to them. Then on perpetual boards, we loaded somebody this morning after the 11 o'clock call who asked to be for a position on a perpetual board. I managed to get her onto the board with the number 1 and 5 profiles of the submarine on. She's the last gifter. That board is now going to split, and the whole of the submarine is going to pull her or push her up to the legend position. If she gets her 2 in before she's in legend, well done. If not, you know what to do once you're in legend position. So that's concerning the perpetuals. And the only other serious thing that now, before I get to that, I've opened a new group about an hour ago called Sub-Committed Monthly Positions. That is where we can communicate for the people that committed to monthly positions to allocate them to boards. You may go onto the sequence, but we currently got a challenge with the next 5 boards that's supposed to be worked on, where the legend didn't send me photos yet. So we can't work on the boards. We had to go to number 6. So because we do work on about 20 boards currently, your allocated or committed position will maybe go on one of those boards, or if you want to use it on your own board, then we can discuss it there as well. Communication. People, many times I've said to you, do not tag somebody in a group to remind them that you've sent them a direct message. Nobody on here gets so many messages that you can't see a new message coming in on Telegram. They come in sequence. The new ones come on top. Don't tag a person in the group. I'm going to delete those posts. And if I don't respond, I still got 233 individual messages on Telegram to go. This morning it was just sitting over 800. I've done 600 during the afternoon. I will get to them eventually. I've covered everything now up to Thursday evening. So Fridays and Saturdays I'm still busy with. I will get to them. And then a little bit more about communication. I don't mind people calling me. But send me a message first so that you can make sure that I'm not on another call. The challenge we've got with modern phones, if you're on a WhatsApp call and somebody calls from a normal line, cut your call off. And that can be very disruptive on a phone call if I'm busy with people. Send me a message, I'll call you back when I'm finished with the current call. It's basic communication skills. Don't go haywire. I will get to all messages and I will return all calls, even if it's a day later. Right, that's all from me. First boards, so 7 people on. First boards, it's broken, that we will fix. Perpetuals is running well. I said earlier, of the last 15 people that we loaded on perpetual boards, 7 of them got at least 1 invitee in and 2 got their 2s in. So they're sitting there now waiting for the rest of the submarine to push them up. Most of those people were loaded on the 3rd bronze boards. So that means the whole submarine is pushing them from behind. Fun and games. Fun and games all the way. Right. I'm going to open up for questions. All the Americans on here who were not on the first 2 calls. Any questions from your side about how we operate the first boards? You all know how it works.
Yes,
silence.
Captain, I do. I just, I like to jump on just so for refreshing my memory and certain things. And everything
fine.
is so good that it's always informative. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, if you got any questions, we will post. I'm busy writing a little document with guidelines, what to do when. We still find people. There's one now who's got no idea what to do with a version 2. Remember, because you sponsor every gifter in of $87.50, you don't have $400 for the silver board. So that legend will remove you. You need to open a version 2 profile on a perpetual board. And we work according to the file sequence. Somebody asked me about where are we currently sitting with the file. Let me just go there. We are working on sub 444, which is position 90 on the file. Needs one person to register. The link is out. 91, 92, 93 is finished. 94 needs 1 person. 95 is finished. 96 is finished. 97 needs 3. 98 needs 2. Rob Sub needs 2. And then the next ones after that is Marius Sub 2 needs 6. And Janetta Sub 2 needs 7. And then we're going down the list. 102 up to 125 will be the next ones. 126 is already on a 3rd bronze, so we're not going to work on that board. And then 127 down, we're going to work on. We currently now the next one we're going to work, or the latest one we're working on is 99. Marius is number 100. We work strictly according to the file. Again, I can't open the file for you because there's phone numbers and email addresses on here. We can't because of the POPI Act. So unfortunately, I can't open the file for you, but I will post frequently in the groups who's the boards that we're working on. Again, we can't work on a first board if I don't get a photo from the legend. I need to know that the legend is active, and I need to know if the board is complete or if we need to work a different strategy on the board. So in the groups, look at my posts, and if I ask for a photo, please send photos so that we can get your board moving. I'm going to just skip those 5 boards. If I don't get photos in the next 2 days, I'm not even going to mention it again. I'm just going to go on the 6th one. We nearly finished. Then I'll go on with the 7th one that's currently open on the list. I'm not going to beg people to send me a photo. And I don't want a photo from the guide. I want a photo from the legend. I need to know that the legend is active. Right. Any questions? It looks like I may now. Oh, there's question. Raquel, wonderful. If the legend has several positions in legend, what determines who goes first to work on? Sequence of the file, Raquel. Sequence of the file. If you look at the file, who can we use? Anybody? Let's go down to where we currently at, boarding call 219. Let me just scroll down. This file is very long. All right, 219 is finished. 220, 221, 222, 223, and 224 did not provide me with photos. I also made separate Telegram groups and still waiting for photos. Bobster 3 provided photos and already went to Silver. There's, I think, one gift outstanding on the board. The next ones we're working on then is 226, 227. That's the same group of people from 220 and 224 up to 236. I can guarantee you now, if I don't get photos, we're not working on those boards. So the next one after that is Guide 90. That's one of my boards. I'm the legend. So that's how we work down the list, Raquel. Let's check where you are sitting. Yeah, it's now going to the bottom of the file. Let's just check, yeah. Boarding call 720 is one of your profiles. So we may work on that one. 1274 is boarding call 251. We already got a group and we're going to work on that board. So if you want to work on your own boards, send me a message. I'll go find the highest boards. You send me a few photos and we decide which one to work on. It's easy as that. Here is boarding call 803, 804, 805, 806 is also managed by you. 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4. So that's also good boards to work on. Compartment 15, boarding calls 81 to 88 is also sitting in legend. There's 8 of them. We can work on them as well. Send me photos and then we decide which boards we want to work on. Even if we don't immediately work on a board, we can already now open the Telegram group. If there's people on that board who's got monthly committed positions, you can start filling it. Even if it takes, let's say there's 2 people on, each one wants to take 1 position for the month. Then we've got 2 positions filled. Next month, we fill another 2. So the rest of the board only have to invite 4 people and the board spins. That's how easy it can go if everybody works together. Okay, so you understand, it's according to sequence. Remember, I can't open the file. There's very, very few people that can view the file, and there's only 4 people that can work on the file. If it's something relating to you, I'll take a screenshot and then crop it so that you can see the information that I want to show you. But that's usually not necessary. The file is in sequence. We can go down. We made more spaces now. We got, oh, goodness. Diana, that's why the file is so slow. We've got 65,000 lines on this file. Remember, we're approaching the 10,000 profile mark. We're currently on, let me just go check quickly. We are currently on 9,943 profiles, plus the boards that we're working now out of sequence, which gives you another 64. We're actually over the 10,000 mark of profiles on the submarine. There's no lineage as strong as this. Nowhere. Nowhere at all. Right, is it all the questions for now?
I have a
Yeah,
quick
there is
question.
we made a huge lineage here. It's scary. And you know what's more scary about the submarine? We've got a side lineage coming in that's going to eventually flow together. The Eagles is following the same original inviter. Now, if you start working on the Eagles again, your boards maybe hit from that side as well, causing more momentum. And we found one silver board where we've got 2 submarine profiles, 1 Eagle profile, 1 caravan profile, 1 cruise profile, and 1 track profile. They're all combined. So they're going to pull people from all 5 of those vehicles. Okay, Alda, do you have a question?
Yeah, so the group that we started for my friend. So I mean, like, do we have to, I don't know how to, I mean, like, make people talk, make people say what they're going to do, because no one has said anything in the group yet. So I'm wondering how it works when you say work in the board. Like, do they have to
Yes,
initiate
talk to
saying
the
I'm
people
gonna
and talk to the people and find out what they want to do. If we can get one person on a board to take a committed position or to sponsor somebody in, that's a start. If there's a person on a board, I will then start allocating the committed positions to that board, even if it's 1 a week. If we can in 8 weeks finish the board, it's much faster than going through the boarding calls. So get somebody on the board, sponsor somebody in, or get somebody to sponsor somebody in, or somebody can take their own position, or even invite somebody. And then we will
That's fine.
place a
It's
committed
it's
position.
just the communication. Yes, that's fine. It's just the communication. Yeah, it's
Communication
nice.
is so important. I've got an excuse. I mean, I've got more than 200 Telegram messages outstanding. I don't get to everything in a few hours. It takes me hours and hours to go through messages every day. Some is just a quick recognition, thumbs up, thank you, I've read it, or I've seen the board. But some you actually need to communicate forward and backwards. It takes time. But nobody on the submarine can claim that they're too busy to go sit in 2 or 3 little chat groups for a board. Rocky mentioned he must be in 37 groups. We're not going to work on all 37 his boards at the same time. 37 is nothing. I'm now on 812 board groups that I'm on. And I go through every one of them, all the messages. Don't make excuses. If you're on 3 or 4 extra little groups, it's for your own good. We're working on your board. Start communicating. Say hello in the mornings. There's this one person, who is it? Carmen. She's got open board chats, 1 for tracks, 1 for cruise, 1 for caravan, 1 for Eagles. She sends a little motivational thing every morning in there. If you don't like those things, bad luck for you. You sometimes need to look at the little picture and get your motivation up. No reason to be all difficult. If somebody wants to post the motivational things, we're not going to post flowers and unicorns and butterflies in the main groups, but a little chat group. There's nothing wrong with posting something motivational there once in a while. All right, who's this that unmuted themselves? Geraldine?
Stefan just muted. Hi, Stefan. Hi, everyone. It's Leona here. Stefan, I just want to give one example to Raquel. So we had a group, one of the exactly like hers, boarding call 251 that we started. And one person on the board said, right, what are we doing here? Who can invite, who can sponsor, who can take another spot? I think there was about 4. So we filled half the board. And then the other guys said, you know what? Give us chance till next month. So now that boarding call and that board is sitting, but it's not a problem because next month is in 2 weeks' time. So then we know those guys are going to help. And it's still going to be quicker than if you were to wait for a boarding call. So we are closing boards now on boarding call 15, like at the bottom. If it was a boarding call, it would have been boarding call 15, like one of the bottom ones. If we had to wait to do it the old way, where we posted the boarding calls and added in order the names, those people would have had to wait for 8,000 people to join before their board would have been hit. So if your board waits now a month, it is still 1,000,000 times quicker than it would have been if you waited for us to fill it that way. So we had another board that we filled with 6, And now everyone's like, okay, we're a bit out of money, out of people. And those guys agreed. They're gonna, at the end of the month, also put the last 2 on. Again, it's much quicker than it. So don't stress that you have to close the whole board now. We've had 2 or 3 boards that we literally closed in 48 hours because all 7 people on the group could add 1. And then I assisted them with the 8th one. So it does happen, but sometimes there's guys. So we've got, I think, Andre Smith currently, people wanted to work on boards and he's on 4 of those boards twice. So he's got 8 profiles. So he can't at this point sponsor in or bring in 8 people. So he helped on 2 boards and then he said to the guys, I've just helped on 2 boards. I'll help on next to the next month. So you'll see, Raquel, I've just commented on your group that I will sponsor one in on that board because I am a builder on that board. So I will put one in and then tag the guys in the group and say who else can do, who else can invite, bring in someone, or yeah, sponsor or invite or take another spot.
Now, what's important is it, I'll give you a chance just now. What's important to remember, every time that we finish a second bronze board, the first perpetual board, it usually each one of our sponsor boards, which is sitting on the 3rd bronze boards. Currently, my one sponsorship, or what I'm supposed to sponsor, must go to the current open boarding calls. But I do have $37.50 available that's left that did not go for sponsorship yet. So once those boards are closed, I'm going to take that $37.50, go look at which boards need 1 person and sponsor somebody from the sponsor listing. If there's 3 boards with 1 short, that means we're closing 3 more boards now. And if you're on that board with a committed position, you can then, after the split, carry on. Even if it takes you 6 months to finish a board, it's still faster. Compartment 15 is going to take 12 to 15 months to finish. It's still faster than a normal boarding call. So our sponsor profiles is still committed to help on the current boards. Like I said, I've got $37.50. It looks like at this stage $37.50. It was kept one side for in case we need to replace and sponsor somebody in. But we're busy closing all those open boarding calls now. And if I'm sitting with $37.50 left, we will take 3 spots somewhere on whichever boards it can be used. I don't care about not communicating in the chats. We had instances this evening around about 6 o'clock. Where somebody for months and months never said anything in a word in a group chat, and then suddenly she's discussing private travel arrangements of another member. So there's no excuse for not communicating. Get your bum into gear and spend 45 minutes a day on your messages. It's not rocket science. Get up to date with your communication. If you want to know about communication, ask Liana how many messages she gets every day. I'm up now to 244 on Telegram. That's outstanding. People must communicate, but communicate in the right way. Stop tagging people if you send them a direct message. They will get it. If somebody don't respond in a group, send them a direct message. Somewhere they'll get the message. If they don't respond, let me know. I like phoning people 2 o'clock in the morning. It's a good time to phone South Africans. And the Americans, I'll phone you at 9 o'clock. That means you in the middle of the night. If you don't respond, I'll phone you. Liana,
It would be
anything
great.
else from you? Yes?
Sorry, Captain. It would be great if those people that do not communicate in those specific chats would join these calls so they could hear exactly how it should be done, but they don't even take the time to join it. That's just so sad because they miss out on a lot of important information as well.
That's why we got the YouTube channel running now where all the calls is recorded and posted. You can if you feel somebody needs a little bit more training, send them the link for one of those calls. On today's 3 calls, we covered the same information. There's a reason for 3 calls. Some people want to spend the afternoon watching rugby. So that's why there's 11 o'clock call. Some people do shopping in the morning. They up on 1 o'clock. People on the western side of the world needs a call in a more decent time. So that's why we got a 7 o'clock South African call, which gives you 1 o'clock on the eastern side of America. We're accommodating. I'm spending 2 hours on a Saturday doing training calls, so that we can cover everybody. But it is recorded and it gets posted on YouTube. Send them the link so that they can watch the recordings. Liana, anything else from your side? We've got about 10 minutes left.
No, Festina and I just having a little bit of a side chat, having a giggle, because Kathy took me on the group. I think she's probably just had a bad day, but that's okay. I've already had 10 crews sending me a message and asking me if I'm okay. I was like, yeah, it's not a lot of life that gets me under. Now, Stefan, so somebody made the comment now, people not communicating. What I have realized is some people get added to the little mini group of their board, and they don't know what's going on because they haven't joined the Zoom or they haven't joined the training. So I thought tonight I'm going to do a voice note, just explaining, and then every time we open a mini group, we'll just share that voice note so that people can listen to it, and I'll do it short and sweet, can listen to it and see what this group actually means. And then somebody commented in one of the groups today, and I absolutely agree with it. It's great to take another spot yourself, but if you can invite somebody or even bless somebody in, that is first price, because then next, when this board spins, then that person can then invite somebody in or bless somebody in. So if you take another spot for yourself, the board spins, then you're a builder again, then you either have to take another spot or bless somebody in. Or so I'm going to try to now, for instance, bless a friend in and say, right, but this is pay it forward. When this board spins, I want you to invite and bless somebody in. If you do it like a pay it forward with your friend circle, it might say you bless them in, but you're saying to them, right, in 2 or 3 weeks, it's your turn to bless in someone. It's just, that is the approach I'm going to take, which I think is going to just help. So then it's not up to you the whole time to find someone.
Yeah, perfect. The voice note will be a good thing in each of the groups. Yeah, you can make a standard one and just post it in every new group that I open. Remember, the opening of the groups is a very easy process. Well, not as easy, but a very simple process. I open the group, I add 3 people in there, I make 2 of them admins, and then I add the person that requested the group in there and make them admin, and then that person must add the other people. And then Liana can post a voice note so that people know what the group is about, add the other people, they can listen to the voice note, I make the history visible to everybody, and then we work the board. Once the board is finished, Liana will say, right, we're finished, and she will leave the group. I will then hand over ownership to Festina, and she will archive the group. And then we immediately open 2 new groups for the next 2 boards on the next compartment. It's a very easy process. It's time consuming. It takes about 4 minutes to open a group like that. And then some of those little groups got 20 or 30 messages that I must still go read. But communication is important. There is no better thing than to communicate. Just don't go over communicate. We don't want to hear about your travel arrangements and your school children. If your child is sick and you can't register or you can't get a link out, yeah, that's fine. We understand that. If your animal is sick and you need to take the poor soul to a vet, post it in the group. I will get to it. You then can register whenever it's time. If the link expires, we get yourself a new link. That's not the end of the world. But general chat is not required. We chat to stuff relating to the group. If you delayed for one or other reason and you can't send out a link, post quickly and then we will wait for the link. It's not the end of the world to wait a few hours for a link. Right, let me just go through the chats. Okay, all the chats has been covered. But I think that's it for tonight then. Any other questions quickly? We still got 5 minutes left.
Stefan, just on the communication, one of the groups that Liana opened for me, you're also on there. You added Pegasus to there, but the other 4 people on that group of mine, they don't exist on Telegram. I've contacted the people who invited them, and yeah, it's also just like they read the message and
Send me their names and send me their username so that I can go find them and add them on.
Okay, I'll send it to you.
Yeah,
Thanks, Stefan.
I've got ways to find them. Your hand was up a bit earlier. Sorry, I forgot. Did you have a question somewhere earlier on?
No, not the question. It was like Raquel said. You and like Carmen also, she's got exactly the same problem. She posts the motivational things on her group, but nobody else in that group participates. That nobody participates in the chat. It's you and you alone. How do we get the other people to participate?
Very easy. Somewhere in the next week, instead of going to sleep at 4 o'clock, I may go through those groups. And if there's no communication, I make a little list and I start communicating with the people.
Much appreciated, sir.
It is shocking how easy people start communicating after a 2-minute phone call. I like talking to people. I'll phone them.
And we
And
like
if they don't answer,
talking to them.
I've got 22 devices and my computers can be instructed to redial. I will phone that person till his battery is flat. He will answer eventually. And usually after a short 2-minute call, they start communicating. Very easy to convince people to communicate.
Stefan,
Very,
I
very
also
easy.
think I've found what works is if you actually tag the people. So Raquel, you'll see now you've put in the group, is anyone else going to add people? After that, I've put in a message. I actually tagged the person. I tagged Stefan, I tagged Raquel, I tagged whoever and say, can you invite someone? Can you sponsor someone? Can you take another spot? So I literally, I'm not saying put them on the spot, but I say, hey, I'm talking to you. Then the only thing is, I think with Carmen's boards, it is going to go slow and we're going to have to like really persist, but we will, purely because it's $100. I mean, I'm speaking from a South African point of view, but we know the economy and stuff is tough currently. So it is easier for people to build on a 1250 than on 100. And I think because it's $100 board, people are too scared to say something because they're going to be scared somebody asked them for $100. So I think that is just one of the things if you look at the higher value boards, but we'll get there. I mean, I know that we'll get there. There's a time for every board and it will happen.
Yeah, there's a time for every board. It will happen at the right time. People, I'm not going to get all too spiritual tonight. We've got less than 2 minutes left. The numbers are playing in our favor. The floodgates are busy opening. They've been pushing slowly to open over the last 9 months. Remember, we went through a 9-month carrying period of Gift of Legacy. This baby was only born 5 days ago. It's 5 days old. The first 9 months, it was sitting in the womb, preparing for life. And in the last 5 days, I saw so much movement even on the old boards. People got removed and we started speaking of the legend and we started getting the board full to get 7 people on. People are working together. Whoever is left on the boards now wants to work. Some got disheartened, but they're still there. They logged in every week. And then we're going to start working on them. Every single board, tracks, crews, caravan, eagles, we're working on them. We'll get to them. Right, we got less than a minute left. I'll post the recording as soon as he's converted. Unmute yourself, shout bye. I'll see everybody on the motivational call again Thursday evening at 7. Andrew is going to talk about the secrets of life. We've got the first 4 secrets figured out from Psalms, all the different Psalms of King David. Right, unmute, shout bye.
A good night.
Bye, everybody.
Thank you.
Bye, thank
Bye,
you.
everybody.
Everyone, bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you, everyone.
Bye, good night.
Good night. Good night.